episode.
Okay. And we're back.
This podcast may contain content inappropriate for children. Ignore this part. Car, welcome to episode 2. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to try not to talk 3 times louder than you. Where do I say?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so here we got some Zerglings.
They look very Zergle.
You know, Zerg was probably my favorite race to play because I'd make like 255 of the fully maxed out Zerglings.
Yeah.
And then just go into your base. All right, we got some Protoss dudes. Okay, why am I showing this? Because we're launching a product today called Pylon. And the headline is that Pylon is our compute miner, so you can sell your compute for Bitcoin. And we'll get into it in a second, but I just want you to get it, okay? So here you got some Protoss guys. In the center, you got a probe. Okay, probe is what we're calling our coding agent because it's like the dude who goes and builds stuff for you, right? Well, what's he going to build here? He's going to build a Pylon in a second. Okay, so what else do we have here? So yeah, here's the probe.
Nice.
Meow. Now it's going to take a little minute. It's going to take a minute to build.
There it goes.
Now here got some little suicide bomber dudes, and the Zealot will hold them off. Okay, so what else do we have here? The Protoss have this like psionic power that they shoot. That's like their mental telepathy thing. So what's our ML framework that's written in Rust and going to absorb all of the PyTorch and other crap from the Python ecosystem? It's called psionic. So we got Protoss, we got Pylon and Nexus. Nexus is like the central Nostr relay super server. Ultralisk, We got Pylon, we got Nexus. Now, these guys are high Templar. You can always merge 2 Templar to make an Archon.
Wow, look at that.
So we got to have a product at some point called Archon. That's got to be like maybe that'll be our version of Mythos. LOL. Okay, so we got Archons, we got shields. Man, it'd be nice if that Pylon was done yet. We need a Pylon here, guys.
It takes time.
Yeah, Archon versus Ultralisk, you know. So the Archons have a ton of shields, but once you get through the shields, they're pretty weak.
So the probe is just, right now, he's building out the Pylon.
Probe is floating around. Once you start a Pylon, you can just kind of walk away from it, and it'll load in. So we don't know what the probe's probably hiding right now. And I guess he only had the minerals to make one Pylon. Archon, that's not even really an ability. Okay, so, and I asked ChatGPT, I was like, who is this Zealot? Is this like a named dude? Is it just like an unnamed Zealot? Man, that Marvel Avengers scene probably stole from this scene. Everyone steals from StarCraft without acknowledging it.
Here it goes.
Guess what? Pylon, boom.
And then everybody shows up.
And they kind of like teleport in. So when you have a Pylon, you can teleport in. Just imagine these are OpenAgents, okay? OpenAgents have come to the rescue, and we're going to fight off the bad Anthropic Claude army, okay? And so I just want to tell you, Microsoft, who owns Blizzard's IP, if you ever send me a single legal document, here's what we're going to do. If I ever get something that says, Microsoft doesn't like you using Blizzard IP, I will say, we will destroy you, knock you out of the Mag 7, hostile takeover all Blizzard IP, and create StarCraft 3 and World of StarCraft. And we're going to do it right, okay?
For the record, Microsoft is known for cease and desist in the Bitcoin space.
Do not F with us. Car, do you know what my favorite number in the whole world is?
Sats?
Well, it's a specific number, and I can't tell you off the top of my head, but I can tell you that my favorite number ever is right here. It's 4,826.
Dude, it even went up more than just right now.
This is my favorite number.
Look at those pylons.
We got the Pylon picture up here. 4,000. Okay, my favorite number is no longer 4,826. My favorite number is now 4,842.
Wow, dude.
Now, note, I didn't even have to refresh the page. This is just live hooked into our Nexus, okay? So here's how it goes. Pylon, 60. Okay, so we've done 2 previous videos on Pylon with kind of like different versions of it, but the common thread between all of them is it's a piece of software, it's a node, and it sits on your computer. It's a Nostr client. It's a NIP90 service provider, and you can Google Nostr NIP90 data vending machine to learn about like the actual protocol that's used. But basically, it's a way for people to buy data from you for Bitcoin or something else. And then we did a proof of concept a couple months ago with a Pylon and a Nexus. So Nexus is basically a glorified Nostr relay. It'll have some other things specific to Psionic to hook it into like different AI workloads. But the Nexus, we're running a Nexus. You can see in the source code that like we have a nexus.openagents.com Oh, there's even something there. I don't even know what any of that is, but just some vibe coded crap. So, but anyways, we have a Nexus that's operating here. The code for Nexus, so for example, let's say you want to run your own Nexus and you want to buy compute from people and you don't want to use our network for some reason, you can go to our OpenAgents repo and all the Nexus and Pylon code's all in here in the crates, and you can run your own Nexus. But for now, you shouldn't care about that. All you should probably care about is the fact that you now have a single thing that you can go, copy your agent instructions, paste this to your Claude code, paste this to your Codex, paste this to your Hermes thingy, your OpenClaw. Here's what it is. This may evolve over time, but who cares? You're just going to paste this to your agent, and I'm not sharing that screen. You can't see. But like, Car, does this work?
Dude, so I ran it yesterday. Just threw it inside of...
Online now just ticked up from 6 to 7.
Yeah, I just threw it in yesterday into Cursor.
I think the people here may be logging in. Go ahead.
Then it just started compiling, and then it just did its thing, and then it launched on my Air, and now it's running and making sats. It's pretty cool, dude. Like, and I don't have to do anything. It's just out there.
Yeah, it should be the simplest. Like, well, how are you going to get product market fit? We give you a button that you press and it makes you money. Is that the simplest fucking thing ever?
But even like the Substack article that I wrote today, when you think about it more long term, I think one of the most interesting things is around this kind of like global kind of like economy layer that's being built right now.
Yeah, take us through this article.
Click that right there, yeah. Click that one. Yeah, click
what percentage did you write versus GPT?
No, a lot of it, me and Ovi wrote it together.
Good.
Yeah, me and Ovi wrote it together. But if you scroll down, like one of the biggest things, and it's in that first line right there. So like, we definitely do think that some of the models alone aren't going to be able to solve a lot of the, how would you say, like a lot of the economic layer. Like it'll be able to do enough, but at some point you're going to need to create like a global economic layer that's going to live beyond that. And you're already kind of seeing it because Visa's kind of doing it, Coinbase is kind of doing it, Cloudflare's kind of doing it, even Stripe had it in its annual letter. But the more you look into it, even BPI just released some research last month, I think it was, or in March. But the more you look into it, the more you realize that the future where everything is headed, it's kind of inside of this this interface that's going to kind of just start forming around all these other things, and it's I would even say it's beyond agent to agent machine stuff. It's a bigger global pie than people realize. And
software is everywhere, and as software becomes more intelligent,
people are underestimating.
We're going to be surrounded by these agents, and you'd better hope that they are open and neutral.
So yes, I agree. But it's even beyond that, Christopher, because like what you're talking about is like the entire economy of the world running on this economic layer, and when you start thinking in terms of like 5-10 years out, just at the pace of everything's going, this could, if you're not in this area, if you're not building infrastructure in this area, you're probably going to be left out of that economy in a lot of ways. So this is kind of like the bigger thesis around kind of like what OpenAgents is doing is just like, this is going to exist. And if you don't start building this infrastructure now for Bitcoiners, for open source, we're going to lose way for all these other closed systems.
Yeah, we got to definitely build out the Bitcoin version of what the big guys are building. So you've got Stripe, you've got Coinbase. I mean, Cloudflare, I had hope for Cloudflare, but they're just basically taking bids between Stripe and Coinbase for what's going to power their like internet dollar shitcoin stable. We've got to build the Bitcoin version of all of this.
In my opinion, like personal opinion, and I haven't really looked into it as much. And we have one guy working on quantum inside the lab, but I think those are the two fronts. I would even consider this a way bigger problem for Bitcoiners in the future than even quantum, because if we're not participating in that economic layer, and if we're not dispersing capital into that ecosystem, then what's going to happen? It's going to lead to the same situation that we had in the fiat era, where everything is controlled by Swift, and it's going to be a different sort of group, right? And that's the biggest problem that I think that's facing Bitcoiners right now that we're actually not paying attention to.
I think there's a bunch
it's
of
serious. It's really. I think it's really serious.
I think a bunch of people are starting to get the importance of like Bitcoin and Bitcoin versions of AI, and we've got a bunch of people in. I mean, heck, one of the reasons they stated for. Where's my